Are you struggling with the consistency of your forehand, controlling the ball? Is it going too deep, too short, or too much out on the alley? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to fix those problems. In my opinion, the contact point of a forehand is the most important thing. What is the perfect contact point? Well, you should aim to make contact in front of you. Your arm can be bent or it can be straight. It really doesn't matter, it's up to you, the personal preference. What about the grip? I believe you should be using a Eastern or semi-Western grip. The Eastern grip you get by putting your racket in a non-dominant hand, get your palm down, and now you have the Eastern grip. If you want to use the semi-Western grip, you lay a racket down on the ground floor and you pick it up. And now you should have a semi-Western grip. The way you see the grip is by having an X on the index finger here. On the Eastern, it should be on this flat bevel here, the third one. On the semi-Western, you should have on the fourth one here. I believe those two grips are the best grips to use. You can use anything in between those grips, between the Eastern and semi-Western. Don't use the continental grip, because then you're just going to push the ball like this. You won't get any topspin or power on that ball. You can see John McEnroe is kind of playing with this grip. I don't suggest to use the Western grip either, because it's really hard to get a lot of power on the ball as a beginner. The contact zone will be a little bit shorter, it's easy to hit high balls, but low balls is really difficult. And you might injure your wrist as well, so try to avoid that one. I know some professionals are using it, but they have lots of power in their forehand and they know how to generate that power. So use the Eastern or semi-Western. So when you want to start hitting the ball, you always start to hit on your feet up. So I start from the ground up, make contact. When I make contact, I should show the whole sole of the foot into the back fence or camera. That's how you transfer the weight into the ball. Avoid hitting back here and going like this. You have to rotate, transfer your weight. Racket goes down, and then you start to rotate into the contact point. So when I make contact, I like to have that shoulder in front of that shoulder, but you don't want to over rotate, because then the ball will fly and go too long. Because if you over rotate, the racket will open up. So you have to be about here, that shoulder in front of that shoulder, and then you follow through. A great drill I like to use to get the weight transfer properly, if I see my student not mastering it, is getting a medicine ball or a soccer ball, basketball, any kind of bigger ball. So what you want to do then is you rotate, and then you want to start weight transfer from there and up. So this time I'm going to throw it. So I start here, use my legs, and bam. When I finish, I want to give high five to where I throw it. So if I have a partner, you can stand and throw a ball to each other like that. Like I said, you can use a soccer ball, basketball, anything. Start, load, and rotate, and high five. So that's a good way to practice on the contact point and weight transfer. I'll show you another drill I like to use. So another drill I like to use to practice on a contact point is I draw a line if I play on clay, or put on yellow lines like 2 meters from the net, and I have a partner on the other side, and just focusing on the contact point. So what you should do then is just tap the ball over gently like this. So you hold the racket in the contact point and just tap it over. So like this. Just tapping the ball over. That's a great way to practice on the contact point. Another way to progress this drill is to move further back, so move to the service line. And what you should focus on then is take your racket a little bit further back, make contact in front of you. So a little bit further back, make contact in front of you, and follow through a little bit. You don't have to swing the whole way. Just focusing on this contact point. Focus on the contact point. Another great way to practice on the contact point is using a wall. Well, I didn't have a wall out here, but I remember this board from my first video. So a great way to practice on the contact point as well is using a wall, this time a board. So what you will do is standing like 1 to 2 meters from it, and you're holding on the contact point and just tapping the ball gently like this. Do this drill 1 to 3 minutes every day as a warm-up, and you will start to have a better contact point. And then you can move a little bit further back as well. So if I'm standing like 3 meters from it, a little bit bigger swing, and I make contact in front of me and have a control of the racket, making sure I'm contacting the ball in front of me the whole time. And then you can move further back, hit slowly, make contact, and all the way up. Make sure when you make contact that your head is still. You can see this on all the professional players. When they make contact, the head is still. Don't do this to look where the ball is going. So make contact and then look up. So you make contact, follow through a little bit, and then look up. That will make your forehand a lot more consistent. Another reason for why you might be hitting the ball too late, you know the weight transfer, you know the contact point, but you're still struggling. Probably it is because you're preparing your forehand too late. So the first thing you should do when you see the ball coming to your forehand, as soon as the ball hits, as soon as the ball gets out of the racket of your opponent, you should start to prepare yourself. Just have a uniturn. And then you move to the ball. When the ball bounces, you have to be fully prepared. So start the uniturn as soon as you see the ball coming to your forehand. You start the uniturn, you move. When the ball bounces, make sure your racket is in a take back position. And then you just start your swing. So you can take the ball in 2 ways. You can take it when it bounces and rises. So you take it on a rise. The timing and rhythm would be like bounce, hit, bounce, hit. So that's why it's so important to have your racket back here. because when the ball bounces, you start the swing. Another way, the easiest way, especially for beginners and intermediate players, is take the ball, it bounces up on the top and on the way down, because then you have more time to prepare yourself and read the ball. Yes, then you can prepare a little bit later, but still you should be as early as possible. So when the ball bounces, make sure you have your racket back. When the ball goes on the way down, when it turns, you will start the swing forward. So make sure you make contact in between the waist and chest height. That's a perfect height to make contact with the ball. Yes, of course, sometimes you have to make contact down here or up here, but you should avoid it with good footwork. Good footwork is the secret of the game. If you have a problem with the distance or spacing to the ball, what's really important to focus on then is to get your non-dominant hand parallel to the baseline or the net, because this hand helps you a lot with different kinds of things. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the contact point. So when you hit, you see here, this is a measurement. So if a ball comes here, you're too close to a ball. So then when you see a ball coming and you see it's going to be here, move away and then hit. So make sure you use your non-dominant hand. Don't let it be like this. Another thing is it's making you more stable, okay? So it will be easier to measure the contact point, the distance between you and the ball. So practice on that if you have problems in hitting too close to your body.